Today we are going to talk about Tim Curran, Monstrosity. I read this book last week when I was on vacations. Unfortunately, I could not finish there, and then other stuff happened, and I only finished now. It took me around 2 weeks to finish the book. What can I say about this? Okay, as you probably know, Tim Curran is one of my favorite horror writers. Okay, if you want a grim dark story, if you want something really different from the normal horror, more gore and so on, you should check this guy. This book, it's a bit different. Okay, I just recently read Center to the Journey to the Center to the Journey of the Earth, and the author there created monsters and so on. Okay, imagine that. What if the evolution, instead of going one way, went another? And so he had to invent some monsters and some animals that didn't exist. How intelligent life would be if instead of mammals, other species had evolved and so on, which was very interesting. That's why I enjoyed the novel, although the story itself is not that great, but that part was very cool. Regarding this one, okay, Tim Curran, just from the start, he threw us to an apocalyptic scenario where monsters are coming out of the earth, and they are totally different from the ones you know. Okay, they are basically the same, but they evolve very rapidly. Tim Curran never explains this, which is a shame, and it removes some plausibility on the plot itself. One thing is like Jeff Long novel where the sun, I believe it's the sun, like, okay, this happens along millions of years and it evolved in this way. Here, it never really is explained and on how and why this happened. So, to me, that felt a bit more unrealistic, but the author has all the he can write, and that's what I mean is it's not wrong, okay, but to me I really love to hear about the backstory. I prefer that to be explained, or at least hinted, and then you draw your own conclusions. In this case, something happens overnight, and it's never really explained. Sorry, my camera just fell. It's never really explained, which to me it makes really no sense. But okay, Tim Curran went this way, and as a person who have enjoyed his novels, I would enjoy this one as well, because there are other elements, the horror elements, and so on, and the monsters themselves. But the plot is basically like this: there is a guy who has a son and a daughter. They're trying to escape, and so the first 100 pages or so, he basically is trying to go from one place to another while depicting the monsters and animals and so on that exist in that world. Then he meets people. Some are very crazy because people as well changed. Some people changed, not all. It's something that's never explained. And they meet a woman whom he trusts her to get along. Okay, there are some. Tim Curran tries to get some backstory from the guy that he's lost his wife a couple of years ago. He tries to give some backstory about the boy and the girl and their relation with the father, which is never really developed. The boy is as generic as he can be. He's against his father and so on. And so the plot advances. Then, after some incident, they get separated. The girl and the boy go with the woman, and he tries to get to her, to them. Imagine a blockbuster movie. And so the story then begins it's a new story basically. And then we follow the guy as he gets some help from other people and so on. But there are some stuff I didn't enjoy in that regard. That part that was in the beginning, he was very thoughtful of the children, my children, and then after a while they disappear from his mind for 50 pages or so. I don't know, as a father myself, this is a situation that occurs in a couple of days, okay, not months or something like that, it's a couple of days. So, as a father, without a wife, let's forget I have a wife, and he's trying the utmost to find his daughter and son, and could he have time in his mind to get physical or at least romantically involved with a girl? I don't know. Okay, this is something that is this novel could, if this novel would be made by Hollywood, this would be a perfect Hollywood movie. A guy lost with his traversing with his sons, and they get lost. He tries to find it. He finds a girl. Boy meets girl. They get together, start to find their children. Not their children, but his children, get romantically involved and find the children. Basically, that's the plot. What can I say? What did Curran did good here? Some monsters are well portrayed. I really enjoyed their. They tried to explain some different monsters, how they evolved, like spiders that fly, or man-eating plants that are gigantic, and so on. In this regard, I believe Tim Curran really tries to develop the world, and he did well. The problem here was the story itself. It dragged a lot. He not only jumped from one obstacle to the other without almost intermission, but there are a couple of situations where Deus Ex Machina happens, like the group where he's traveling is being how do you say, coerced by the military, and the military is attacked by these giant spiders, flying giant spiders, and they all die. The group stays together and so on. And then the ending, I don't know, probably some spoilers, but the ending was not that good, to be honest. My grand problem with the novels of Tim Curran is the ending. Okay, he met his children, they are fine, and then in the last 5 pages or so, something very odd happens, and it's like it was on a timeline. Okay, the story is very slow, which is not normal for Tim Curran. Not very common for Tim Curran. The story is very slow, and then in the last 10 pages or 5 pages, I believe it was 5 pages, because they have 128 chapters. and so it's a chapter for each 2 pages or so. The last chapter, something happened, and the first time I didn't even understand what happened. It was very, very, very strange. Then the ending, which at this moment, at this moment, all was dark and difficult and so on, it became everything is cool. Let's go to our farm again, with my children and my new wife and so on, and that's it. And so, what about these monsters everywhere? Did they die? They simply vanish. The difficulties and so on. It was very anticlimactic, to be honest. And that's it. My review. What can I give it in terms of rating? I would give it a 5 out of 10. A 5 because I've enjoyed the characters in the beginning. I enjoy the monsters and depiction of new monsters and so on. I really enjoy that. I believe Tim Curran is the best author out there depicting situations where you feel sick just by reading them. Okay, they are very gruesome, very gore, but the situation from Deus Ex Machina, the non-explanation of the ending and the monsters where they came from, the interaction of the characters, at least the new characters, yeah, everything about this, it fell short. And to be honest, I was a bit disappointed since I read Tim Curran usually after a bad book or a book I didn't enjoy, so I don't get demotivated reading bad books after bad books, and so it was a very upsetting situation. I have another book of him, Grimweave, and I have got a couple of them right there to read. Hive and Resurrection, which has 666 pages. But that's a big entertainment to me, but I will read them. As I said, when I enjoy a writer, I don't usually read all his stuff on go, like Bentley Little, which is one of my favorite horror writers. I usually read 1 book per year or 2 books per year, just to remember and just to instead of reading everything and then I have nothing to read about him, about him or a writer. I prefer to do it like this. So that's it for me. As I said, 5 out of 10. Thank you.